My entire journey of music has been and is currently my determination to revive the quality of Sikh music. Even all of our kind of spiritual guidance is set in music. Back then, all of our conversations were set in music. That's now coming back as Sikhs get their voices again.
Hip-hop became the medium by which I was able to get a better understanding of myself. It became the pathway for me to really connect with my culture and tradition and legacy in a very meaningful way. When you live in a country that's foreign to your motherland, it's not so much about, there being racial discrimination, but it's also like, what's the byproduct of that? Comes with this sense of looking for your identity and searching for your identity, but also losing touch with the things that were from the motherland. So stuff like losing language. In the face of those challenges, this is what we're losing. It's not just about, hey, you look different and make you feel like shit because of it. A lot of my childhood was trying to just figure out my place and trying to figure out where I belonged. When I first came into making music, I was still running away from myself. And it wasn't until after high school when I took a trip to Punjab with my family. I went to the Harmandir Sahib. It's an amazing space, literally a golden temple sitting on a body of water in the middle of this city. It felt like a ball of light or fire in my chest just exploding. I was just like, I didn't even know I was crying. I had tears down my face. I didn't even know. And, until I was like, am I crying? Why am I, I couldn't explain it. And it wasn't a sense of like happiness. It wasn't a sense of sadness. I don't know, maybe the best word I can think of is inspiration. I remember so vividly walking out of Harmandir Sahib complex after that and just being like, I know what I need to do now, like when I go back home. Diving into hip-hop music brought me a connection to Sikhi that I never thought was even possible.
In all honesty, I'm the most average student of music. It's just that determination to maybe someday look back and see Sikhs relish in that music again. So we started teaching a few years ago. It's actually been quite incredible in the sense that so many students are actually learning sincerely. There's a difference between just learning what you're hearing, and there's a difference between trying your level best to delve within the music and the art. That's what bears fruit. And hopefully everyone that's learning then passes on that same culture to their immediate family and their nephews and their offsprings and all that kind of stuff. And that cultural resurgence occurs again.
When you begin to take away a people's culture, you start the process of taking them away from their language, their art, all the things that make them proud and passionate of who they are. And when you start to feed them with this belief that what they have is not as great as what we have, you start that process, then they'll continue it on their own. So the byproduct of like this negativity is like, we've missed 3 generations of artistry. Like we lost it all, and it's now we're having to revive it. Yeah. And we're in this beautiful place of like, we recognize and appreciate the immense value and how much it means to not just us, but the world, to have a culture and a culture of art be revived.
It was absolutely detrimental to us. But what now? What are we going to do? Are we going to sit here and be like, oh, this happened, that happened? No. We're the exact opposite of that. And now learning those things again and reviving them again, the next generation now and the generation after, the kind of confidence that they are growing up with and the confidence they have within Sikh poetry and Sikh art, you can't shake that. They don't really bother with these kind of criticisms that you're talking about. They just brush it straight off because they know what they have, they know what they're worth. तो बहुत तेज है बोल रहा है फायदा गा गर मामा गर गर सर सन बन सा सर गन सर पामा गर सा गन पद ग पामा गा ग म पद ने दा
So some people are playing a sarangi, but like what you're about to pull up is like a bunch of different instruments that are used traditionally in Sikh music, some of which rarely get used today. The significance of that is like those instruments are so hard to learn. You know what I mean? Like they're so hard to learn. Our understanding of it's in 3/4 timing, but it's in 6. It's called dadra, so it's in 6 beats. I had this bit where it's like a breakdown section. It was like stabs almost. It's like da 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 da. Start.
Oh yeah, okay. It's going real basic to start with.
That's the
Even the last one.
yeah. He's saying shabash, which means like well done, good job.
Celebrations, congratulations, salutations, thanks for your patience. We cause more rackets than tennis teams. It seems we some of the baddest you ever seen. Yeah, y'all know the deal. It's the lion on the track and I'm going for the kill. Celebrations, congratulations, salutations, thanks for your patience.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. It sounds completely different to what I would, ever would have thought that it's going to sound like. I was saying there's like a lapse of knowledge that I don't have in the middle to see how that changes into this, because it's completely different domains.
Yeah.
Just give me that shot. It's like...
It kind of works as like a bit of encouragement, every 2 bars. When you're showing me things like this is what I've picked up on my journey so far, I'm like, wow, man, like I just feel like this tiny piece of me is coming back,
Sikhs and Punjabis, they've been given this caricature that this is who you are. You're boxed in this. What's starting to happen now is that everyone's starting to realize the depth of Sikh intellectual thought, the depth of Sikh poetry, the depth of Sikh music. The more people bring this to the forefront and the more people delve in it, that's the only way to kind of jump out of these boxes that Sikhs and Punjabis have been kind of pushed into after the partition. Now what's happening is with the resurgence of art, because art's the only thing that can do this. We're kind of exploding out of those boxes again. Who's ever boxed a Punjabi man? Hoi nahi sakda. That's the underlying kind of resurgence that's happening right now, that's propelling this conversation, propelling these projects, propelling all these students learning and taking interest in Sikh history. This is who we are. We have our own art form. We're poets, we're musicians. So I think that's happening right now, and it's just exciting to be part of that.